This podcast may contain graphic and/or explicit content that may not be suitable for some listeners, especially kids like me. Listener discretion is advised.
You're listening to the Real Life Podcast, brought to you by the Thin Blue Line for Women. In this podcast, we open up and talk about real life issues as they relate to first responders. It's raw, it's real, and it's about time. I'm Tamara, your host. Thanks for joining me. This is a moment of silence for Alyssa Gail Chambers, also known as Gigi. August 27th, 1962 to April 4th, 2020. Gigi, you are missed by so many of us. Rest in peace in God's arms. Hashtag I love you. Don't forget, you can listen to the Real Life Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Casts, and on YouTube. Thank you for joining us. I always like to give shout outs, and I haven't done it in a few weeks. So these are some people that constantly listen to the podcast. They write me messages and tell me how much they appreciate the podcast. Just regular people, everyday people that I've come really close to on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. So here are your names: Dawn Pantano, Carla Westhaven, Cindy Ward, Pat Yon, Detective Blue Line, Alma with a yellow flower in her hair, Johnny Socks, Be Cool 88, Lee Roberts, Terry Armenta, Liz Sumter, Donna Brown, Sergeant Manders, Brad Pridgeon, Chaplain Vicky, H. Clary, Ann Wedig, CanineLifeCo.com, Sarah Jewell, Lori Cooper, Cami I Have Your Six, Leah Demarest, Jill Bemme, Live PD Snarkasm, Broken Medic, Susan Neeland, Becky Rice, Becky Howell, Tia Johnson, and Benjamin Tyler Smith. So I just wanted to shout out to all of you and say thank you for listening to the Real Life Podcast. And thank you for your friendship. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 1. I want to take this moment to thank some very special listeners who are monetarily supporting the Real Life Podcast. By giving just a minimum of 99 cents a month, you've all kept this podcast going, and your money pays for the program I use to record the guests. Thank you to Cami, Ron, Ben, Katie, Paul, Kelly, and Ann. I super appreciate all of you. If you'd like to support the Real Life Podcast, just click on the link that I post in Twitter and Facebook each week and look for the button that has the word support in it with a $sign next to it. Now, I'm also happy to announce that the Real Life Podcast is being listened to in the following countries: the United Kingdom, New Zealand, Canada, the Philippines, Argentina, Australia, Lebanon, Sweden, Ireland, and of course, here in the United States. So, without further ado, welcome to Season 2, Episode 1. I have a wonderful man joining with us today for today's episode. It's Chaplain Ron with Canines for Christ. Hi, Ron. How are you?
Hi, how you doing? It's good to see you.
I'm good. Thank you for joining me. Can you just tell me a little bit about you and your wife before we talk about Canines for
Sure.
Christ?
Marilyn and I in April will be married 25 years, and we met in Memphis, Tennessee at a large church. The late Dr. Adrian Rogers in Memphis was our pastor, and we met there and got married when I was 37. She was 36. We have no children. Marilyn worked for Lifeway for 30 years, and then she retired, and I am retired military. And we've been married for 25 years and have no children, but we've got 2 dogs, our therapy dog, Molly, and our new puppy named Maddie.
You're a veteran. Where? So am I. So what branch of the service were you in?
I was in the Navy for 10 years and the Army National Guard for 10.
Nice. I was in the Air Force. Thank you for your service.
Well, thank you for your service.
Of course. So tell me, what is Canines for Christ?
Canines for Christ is a ministry that we call a ministry of presence, which means that we just try to be there for people. Sometimes we encourage our volunteers to use the vocabulary of silence, which means they're just there waiting for people and ministering to people. Canines for Christ was started in 2007 and 2008 by a guy named Chaplain Larry Randolph out of Tampa, Florida. Larry was in church one day and he was prompted to start a therapy dog ministry, but he didn't have a dog. He said, God, I don't even have a dog. And the Lord said, I didn't ask you all that. I asked you to start a ministry. And so Larry went out and borrowed his sister's dog and started Canines for Christ. Fast forward about 12 to 14 years now, and we have 900 volunteers in 36 states and 5 foreign countries and 1,000 plus therapy dogs.
Oh my gosh. Wait, say that again. I want to write this down. 900 volunteers.
In 36 states,
36
5 foreign countries, and 1,000 plus therapy dogs.
Wow. And you have Molly. That's your therapy dog.
Molly is our therapy dog. Molly is 9 years old, and she's ours.
Oh. Okay, so when did you start volunteering for them?
I started volunteering in 2012, and since then, Molly has been over 4,500 visits bringing God's comfort to others.
4,500. Okay, that's in 8 years. Wow, that's a lot. And you're in Nashville, Tennessee, correct?
Nashville, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Wow. So you're having a lot of trouble with COVID-19 there right now.
Oh, yes. Right now with COVID-19, we're having not as much as New York or New Jersey or Connecticut or Washington, D.C., but we are having our cases here. And as you know, that during this stressful time, our healthcare workers, our first responders, and especially our law enforcement are really going through stressful times beyond the stress that they normally see on a day-to-day basis.
Oh, yeah. So, okay. Well, before we talk about how your dog Molly goes out and helps others, tell me Molly's story.
Molly is a rescue dog. Molly was rescued in a place called Mount Juliet, which is a suburb of Nashville. And Molly was out and somebody left her and her mom out in 18-degree weather to die. And a volunteer found them and adopted the dogs up in New York, and Molly got adopted by us in Nashville, Tennessee. So we rescued Molly from certain death, and we really love to share that story.
Wow, 18. Yeah, that's cold. Yeah. That's really cold. Now, what kind of dog is Molly, and how old is she again?
Molly is 9 years old, and she is a German Lab mix.
Oh, wow, German Shepherd and Lab. Now, I've seen her pictures. The listeners can't see the pictures right now because we're on the podcast, but if they go to the website, which we'll tell at the end, they can see all the pictures.
They can see all the pictures of Molly, and they can go to my website and see that too. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, awesome. So tell me about the actual ministry. Who do you serve? Like, is it medical people? Is it law enforcement? Is it cancer people?
We started serving through our nursing homes, which that's pretty much cut down now with COVID-19. But we've been serving our nursing homes. We go to the Hope Lodge, which is part of the cancer patients and everything. We serve them. And in 2015, we actually just started serving our law enforcement, first responders, and healthcare workers. And God has really opened up that door door. We've got now about 60 to 70 volunteers. That's all they do is minister to our law enforcement personnel and our 911 dispatchers. I love to mention them because, as you know, they are our hidden heroes.
Oh, yeah.
If we did not have 911 dispatchers, your law enforcement folks would not know where they're going.
Absolutely.
So we love our 911 peoples, and I love to call them our hidden heroes because they do such a tremendous job. So we serve a lot of our 911 dispatchers too.
So, well, tell me what that looks like, though. So how does the call get put in for Molly, for you?
For Molly to go, what we do is I have a relationship with our Nashville, Tennessee 911 dispatchers, and I go on a regular basis. Obviously, with COVID-19, I've not been going at all, but we've been going on a regular basis. About once a month, we go and visit them, and we're able to see about 60 to 70 volunteers, our 911 dispatchers at a time. And Molly just goes around. They pet Molly, they love on her, and they just do all kinds of things.
Aw. So, okay, but tell me, be a little more descriptive. Like how does one call? They just call you on the phone? Do they?
Yeah. What they do is I usually set a schedule. I'll email them about a week in advance, and they'll say, "Hey, this is a good day to come." And so I try to make sure I hit the all three shifts. So I'll go like at 5 a.m. in the morning to catch what we call C detail, and then I'll catch A detail when they come in also, and then I separately call B detail, and they have me come in and visit, and it's really neat, especially when we've had a tragic officer involved shooting or we've had an officer go down. I'll visit the 911 dispatchers, and most of our dispatchers will come up and just cry on Molly because they're just letting their stress out.
That's awesome. Now, so do you just work in Nashville, or do you work in other states as well?
We also work in other states. We I go to Alabama, Kentucky. I'll sometimes go to North Carolina, but we have a lot of our volunteers in about 36 states. So we have our volunteers that are working with 911 dispatchers in pretty much all those states.
Now, does your wife go with you?
Yeah, she goes with me when she can. Like I said, we've got a new puppy named Maddie.
Aww.
And so she has been home training her. We call Maddie Terror of the Skies. And Maddie is a neat doll, but she is going to be a future 911 hero. And we're looking forward to having her do that. She is 12 weeks old now. And so we're looking forward to doing that. But yes, Marilyn goes with me when she can, but she keeps a lot of the home front things going for me. So I can go out and do this. Yeah.
That's so sweet. Now, so COVID-19 obviously has affected the way you're ministering to others right now.
Oh, yeah. It does.
But I saw in the news, and I just read it, that you delivered pizza. We deliver Buffalo Wild Wings. Yeah, and today I just got a partnership with Domino's Pizza. They're going to be working with us on doing this, and from a national scale, but they're going to be doing it locally with us. And so our police officers are excited about that. I had a lieutenant write me the other day and said, "You're a scholar and a gentleman's son. Thank you very much." And so they were really appreciative of what's going on. That is so awesome. Now, how long do you see yourself volunteering for Canines for Christ?
Well, I've been volunteering since 2012. I'll volunteer probably till the day I die. So I just, we have a guy, we have one of our oldest volunteers is 94 years old in a part of the country. And he came to know the Lord a few years ago and said, "I just want to use my talents for the Lord." So he is out there serving the Lord. And we have a volunteer as young as 4 that goes out with her mom and dad and ministers with her dog. So it's kind of neat.
That is so sweet. So what if a listener is interested in this sort of ministry? How do they contact you? And
I would have them go to the website, www.k9forchrist.org. That's www.k9forchrist.org. And they can go to the website. They can go to the volunteer page, and it will show them exactly how they can get involved. The only thing we ask, Tamara, is that that the dog is good with children, it's good with people, and it's absolutely never bitten anybody. So that's what we ask for. And then we take the dog through the AKC, which is the American Kennel Club. And once we get them through there, we put $1 million liability on every single one of our dogs that go out.
Oh, just in case.
Just in case. We've never had to use it, but we're glad that it's there.
Yeah, with 1,000 dogs, I'm surprised we haven't had one bite yet.
Yeah, we haven't. And we've been very, very fortunate. We tell them that it's basically God more than anything else has helped us on that. So
Okay, so where can they find you besides the canineforchrist.org? Are you on Facebook and Instagram?
Yes, I'm on Facebook. They can look up Canines for Christ Nashville and have us on Facebook. And obviously, you can go to the website and put that link down there. And I'm also on Twitter, but I pretty much try to go through with Facebook and everything.
And what about Instagram?
Instagram, I'm not on that yet. I've got a lot of my friends that are on it, but I have not gone to that. I have not done that yet.
Wondering. I just making sure. Now,
yeah, I stay busy enough with the other forms of social media. So.
Believe me, Chaplain Ron, I know what you're talking about. With Simply Line for Women, I am constantly on this.
And with your organization out there, you've got some great ladies that have not only, you're not the only one that's written some great books, but they've written some great books too. And I would encourage people to go to your website and see how they can get those books, because it really gives you an insight of what they go through.
Now, you're reading my book right now, correct?
I'm reading your book right now, and I'm going through it slow because, like I said, it's a lot to grab. As you know, you really get down to where the shoe leather meets the road on this thing and stuff like that. But it's really going. I think in the future, Tamara, it's going to really help a lot of people go inside the mind of an actual CSI person, so that at least they can know, not be an expert in it, but at least have a working knowledge of what's going on.
Right. What chapter are you on?
I'm on chapter 3 now. So I've got through the other part, and I'll just say brain.
Yeah. But you don't want to have a cheeseburger for a while, right?
No, I really don't. But I've got a pretty strong stomach, and the Lord's allowed me to go to bed at night and pretty much be able to block that out. So that's good.
Yeah, I tell people, don't read it before you go to bed, because it's disgusting. I mean, it's just sad and tragic. And
well, I'm also reading another book called it's called Devotions Through a Cop's Eyes, and that's helping me to kind of balance things and everything.
Okay. Tell me about that one. Devotions.
Yeah, that's a great book. What I'll do is I'll send you the link to those, and maybe you can put it on your website or something like that.
I would love that.
And I'm also with Canines for Christ. If you would like to put ours on your website, Larry said we could exchange links and everything like that would be good.
You are already on my website, sweetie.
Oh, that's right. And that's right. And Larry said he's going to put you on his. I'm actually emailing him now. It just takes him a while because he's got so much going on with the ministry and everything.
Oh, I don't mind that at all. I've had you on there for a while.
That's right. I remember it now. I'm sorry. You sure do. That's just, I told people I don't have Alzheimer's disease. I got sometimes disease.
Oh, goodness.
So,
okay. We're going to take a quick break, because when we come back, I want you to tell me some Molly stories, okay?
Okay, that sounds good.
We'll be right back.
Okay.
Are you looking for Thin Blue Line gear? It's available on our website at thinbluelineforwomen.com. That's Thin Blue Line, the number 4, women.com. Show your support for law enforcement and get your Thin Blue Line gear today. Just click on shop at thinbluelineforwomen.com. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First of all, it's free. And there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app today, or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's anchor.fm. Are you interested in CSI or forensics? The Forensic Science Academy program has been recognized as the premier training program completely dedicated to students who are launching their forensic career. The Academy offers specialized hands-on training modules in basic and advanced crime scene investigation, forensic photography, fingerprint identification and classification, crime scene management, and coroner investigations. Instruction is offered in the form of weekend workshops, online courses, webinars, and seminars. Training at the Academy of Forensic Science will give students the competitive edge employers and agencies are looking for when hiring. Past graduates are now working as crime scene investigators, private investigators, forensic pathologists, coroner investigators, forensic nurses, forensic accountants, and even criminalists. The courses are taught by forensic professionals who are experts in the field and hold membership in the International Association for Identification and other professional forensic organizations. For more information, visit forensicscienceacademy.org. Again, that's forensicscienceacademy.org. I asked some of you to leave messages telling me what you're thankful for. So in a second, I'm going to play those messages. But I'm thankful for my family, especially my daughter. I'm thankful that I'm retired at such a young age. I'm thankful that I can live in the beautiful state of Tennessee. I'm thankful that I'm not sick with COVID-19, and I'm thankful no one in my family or anyone I know is sick with COVID-19. And I'm happy to have a really good relationship with Jesus Christ. So here are some messages from some friends of mine on Twitter and what they're thankful for.
I am grateful for all the doctors and nurses and healthcare workers, and I am especially grateful for the scientists and the scientific community who are working so hard to help us be well and stay well. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Susan in Seattle.
This is Sue, and I am thankful for grace and the hope we have in Christ of eternal life, reunited with our loved ones, and an eternity of serving and glorifying God.
What am I grateful for? I'm grateful for my mom and my grandfather, for my son and my grandchildren, and most of all, I'm grateful to God, because without Him, I wouldn't be here. And I am so grateful for all the first responders and healthcare workers out there who are helping to keep us safe and helping to heal those who are sick. I'm truly thankful for each and every one of you. God bless you all.
I am thankful for my family who's healthy. I am thankful for my husband. In May, it'll be 16 years that we've been married. We've been together 23. I'm thankful for my friends. I'm thankful for my job. And I'm just thankful that we have another day to watch the sun rise and the sun set. Have a good one.
And we're back with Chaplain Ron. Thank you again for joining. I want you to just tell us some fun stories about Molly, because that's, everyone loves dogs.
Yes, Molly, I love to tell. The first one I tell is from law enforcement. We took her to, we try to take her to roll calls. With roll calls, in light of COVID-19, roll calls are not being done across the nation. But now when we go back to roll calls, I'll be taking Molly to some roll calls. And the first roll call I took her, it was about 5 years ago. Molly was only 4 or 5, and the sergeant got up. As you know, in roll calls, you've been to roll calls, and they go on and on and on about what you need to do and what you have to do out there. And the sergeant just kept going on and on and on. And Molly, in the middle of nowhere, just went, and everybody laughed and said, "Sergeant, that means for you to shut up and sit down." And you can feature that with some of those sergeants just saying, "Will they just shut up?" We know what to do. We're not going through the academy again. So it was funny. And another story I love to give about Molly is that one time we were in a nursing home and a lady was bedridden. And she says, "Oh, I wish Molly would come up and lick me." Well, we don't encourage the dog to jump in the bed because they could hurt the older patient. But Molly, without me being able to stop her, jumped into the empty part of the bed, crawled up to the lady and started licking her on her face. So it was just a tremendous, tremendous story that we have. And Molly is just, it's been good. And another God story I want to give about our dog named Gracie, which is in Tampa. Gracie went into a nursing home where a man was in a coma, and Gracie all of a sudden just started staring into the skies for about a minute. And then Gracie slowly walked over to the man and laid down beside him until he died.
Oh my
And
goodness.
so, I don't know what the dog saw, but the dog must have saw something into the outer limits and everything. We just don't know
I
what
know.
goes through a dog's eyes. We just don't know. And so
Yeah, that's incredible.
those are three of God's stories, two of them with Molly and one nationally. That just is a
Wow.
tremendous, tremendous story. Yeah.
That's
And
really cool.
we've got many more too and stuff that I can tell you. Our volunteers write
Keep
me every day
going.
with a story. Well, we have one where a lady, we give them a business card that on the back has how you can come to know the Lord. Okay, and so this lady came in the next day and gave her the card, and a week later she ran up to the volunteer and said, I've just got this card and I've trusted the Lord to take me to heaven with me, and within a month she was gone. So that was those are just another story that we love to share with people. And stuff like that.
Wow.
So
That's incredible.
so those are great stories, yeah, and like I said, our volunteers across the country have hundreds of stories. We have a volunteer in San Antonio, Texas, that has got 3 dogs, very trained German shepherds, and when she can't get out, she is doing a video on Zoom for the volunteers down there, and they're exercising with their dogs, and so that's another thing. We have a thing in Tampa that they call Dog Church, in a rehabilitation center with people that are really severely disabled, and they have about 30 dogs there, and they sing and they have church with the dogs. So
Wow. That's cute.
yeah, so we do that. We have what we call reading buddies, to where the dogs go to schools and the children read to the dogs. So it's kind of
Aw.
a neat thing. It really is. It
And
really
they
is.
sit still long enough to listen to the reading?
Yeah, they just the kids just love it, and the dog just sits there, and everything. And my dog used to be a reading dog until she became a crisis response dog. So
Oh, okay.
Molly is in about 5 schools in Nashville that if we, God forbid, have a school shooting or something, Molly will go and comfort the students there. So yeah.
God, I hope we don't have another one of
Well, I
those
know that
ever.
law enforcement officers have told me, and you can say this from a law enforcement perspective, they said that our 2 major nightmares are mass shootings and school shootings. Those are our 2 major nightmares that we have to go to. And I don't know, Tamara, did you ever have to go to a school shooting or not?
No,
You know,
never.
yeah.
We
So
trained for it. We trained for all that, but I was thankful I'd never had to do
fortunate to
that.
not to go and stuff like that. We
Right.
never had to in Nashville, but we had our dogs in Parkland respond to the Parkland shooting down there,
Oh,
and
wow.
they also responded to the Dallas ambush and everything like that. So
Oh,
we've
wow.
had several of our dogs that are trained and ready to go in if they have to go into those situations. We work very closely with the Samaritan's Purse, if you've heard of them.
Oh, yeah.
We
yeah.
work very
Every
closely
year.
with them, and so wherever they go, they have given us an open invitation to join them.
Oh, that's
So,
wonderful. Yeah, I do the Christmas boxes every year with
yeah,
Samaritan Purse.
they do, and we just worked. If you remember when Nashville had that tremendous tornado
Yes.
that came through, I worked with Samaritan's Purse to go in, and they have put us on their national response list now. So
You're talking about the one a few weeks ago?
a few weeks ago, the tornado missed our house by 2 blocks. So,
Yeah, I remember you saying that. Now that night, okay, so you know where I am in
yeah,
Tennessee.
yeah.
Night, that storm went through our town, and we had so much lightning and thunder that night.
I
My
heard
daughter
about
ended
that.
She ended up
Yeah.
in my bed, and I was scared to death.
Well, it went from Nashville to Cookeville and stayed on the ground totally for 60 miles. It never got off the ground. So it was
good.
tough. Now we're getting through April, and hopefully we'll be through this tornado season, but you never know,
I know. Now here's an interesting question. What do you do if you go somewhere like a hospital or a
Okay.
school? And what happens when a kid or a person is allergic to dogs? But they want
Okay,
to
what
see
we
the
do,
dog.
the teachers try to find out who's allergic so they can keep them away from them, basically is what
Okay.
they do. But the teacher just tells the child to stay away from the dog or stay to the other side. But you know that out of all our visits, I probably have only had 3 occasions that has happened. So it's not
Okay.
it's not really prevalent. No.
Well, I'm very allergic to dogs.
Are
And
you really? Oh, man.
yeah, it's horrible. I mean, if they lick me, I break out in hives.
Oh, man.
And if I'm in a home where somebody has their dogs inside, then I can't breathe. It takes about an hour for it to kick in, but then I can't breathe in my lungs.
What about
and
cats?
I use an
allergic to
inhaler.
cats?
I am, but it doesn't affect me as bad. I have a cat.
Wow. Well, I am so
And-
sorry about that.
It's
Yeah, I
horrible.
know, because you probably love animals, and
Well,
so it just
I found in Michigan a Native American Indian dog breed.
yeah.
that they're hypoallergenic, and we have her, and I'm not allergic to her.
Well, what about golden doodles? They're out hyperallergenic.
I've heard that I won't be allergic to them either, but I haven't come across one to pet.
You can. They're expensive. Usually they're bred, and it costs about $3,000 to get one. So it's
my dog wasn't cheap either.
So it's just that's it. But those are just God stories that we share, and the ministry has been really good. We ended last year pretty much debt free, so it's really been good that we've been during this COVID-19. We've been able to reach out and bless others during a tornado response in any part of the country. We have a fund that we will give to animal shelters so they can feed the dogs and have food for them and everything that. So we do that. Yeah. So we're starting to reach out with that this year. I'm part of the board, so I get a chance to see what God is doing through our volunteers across the country, and it's been neat.
Okay, so not only can people get on your website and learn about volunteering, but they can donate and give as well?
They can donate if they want to, yes. We always take donations. We do not turn them down, and we take donations. And we also have a chaplaincy program to where people can go on and they can go through it's called Preparing in Crisis through the Billy Graham Association. They can go through that course and become one of our chaplains too.
Oh, so okay, do they have to have a dog with them, or do they just...
Well, they can do it. We usually, we ask them to have a dog with them, because that's going to be what they're going to be bringing with them. But they can go through that. But usually our volunteers have already had the dog for a year or two. They've done over 100 visits, and then they become a chaplain with us. We have we have already 60 people that have become chaplains with us.
So what does it take to become a chaplain? How long is that training? And
it's not long. It takes a couple of months to go through it. The course is pretty extensive. Larry will send them a link to that after they meet all the other qualifications, and then they go through it. So usually within a few months, they're one of our chaplains and everything like that.
So it's an online course.
Yes, it's an online course. Yeah.
Okay, so anyone can do that.
Anyone can do that. Yeah, they don't have to do it through our organization, but we just require that because we know that Samaritan's Purse and Billy Graham have been down the road, so that's why we try to use them.
Does that course cost money for volunteers?
I think it's about $80 to $85, but I'm not sure. And yes, they do have to pay that, but most people want to. They'll say, "Hey, I want to do that," to be able to do that, and we used to not be able to charge for our membership, but now people do have to pay a donation fee to come in. But everything they get the shirts, they get the 250 business cards, they get the $1 million liability insurance, they get everything with that. So
they're paying for that. That's great.
And stuff. Yeah, it's like $125, which is extremely cheap.
Yeah, right.
And most people don't even blink an eyelash, but that's on the website too, so they know that when they go in there. Like I said, we used to be able to do it free, but when you've got to order 900 vests like that, you really, you can't be doing it.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, of course. So is Canines For Christ a nonprofit organization?
Yes, 501c3. It sure is. Yeah. And so anything they give is tax deductible. Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Now, I also looked on your website yesterday, but I also looked at it a week ago, and I saw some really sweet pictures. And I saw the picture of a dog on an elderly lady's gurney. Was that the story that you just told?
No. This one was not even taking a picture. We didn't have a camera for that one. This was a story I have to tell verbally all the time because we didn't know. It's really interesting. A lot of our dogs are just sweet across the country and stuff and just do all that. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, they're very smart. Dogs are like man's best friend.
They are. They really are. They're
very attuned.
Yeah.
They're attuned to things.
It is absolutely wonderful what we do with them. Yeah.
So does the dog have to have a specific amount of training? You said they have to do 100 visits.
Well, that's 100 visits for the chaplaincy thing. But when a person gets a dog to begin with, we encourage them, if they're 1 year old or less, to take them through Petco Pet Smart Obedience training, and that helps to go through that. And then they'll go through the AKC, which is the American Kennel Club, and get that certificate, and that's for the insurance. But we really don't ask. We just want them to be, like I said, good with people, good with children, and have never absolutely bitten anybody. Okay. And as long as we have those qualifications, I think Larry has told me out of all these years, he has only had to turn down 7 dogs. 7
dogs. So that's amazing.
That's right. Yeah. We haven't had to turn down.
So again, you have 900 volunteers.
900 volunteers and 36 states, 5 foreign countries. And we just had England open to us. A man from England is training his dog to be a therapy dog. And then in Lithuania, we have 2 sisters that we were able to translate the vest into Lithuanian, and they they take their dogs with their husbands now. They take their dogs to nursing homes and everything.
Now the vest says what? Canines for Christ?
It says Canines for Christ in Lithuanian. Yeah, it sure does. Yeah, so
Oh,
it's kind of neat and everything. And people that are overseas, Larry just donates everything to them. He doesn't charge anything for anything overseas.
Wow,
So,
that's wonderful.
Yeah, so we have one in Africa, South Africa, and Germany. So we've got volunteers there. So it's been neat.
That's amazing. I've learned so much through just you talking right now. I'm so thankful that you came on my episode. Thank you so much.
Oh, I enjoyed it. It's great, and I know this will go out to a lot of people and everything.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing the podcast?
You're going to be my 13th episode.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Just a few months. I started in January.
That's neat.
It's brand new.
Well, during this COVID-19, I'm having a lot, an open door for ministry. A lot of people are wanting to do interviews simply because of what we're going through. So it's
right. Yeah. And it's a hard time right now. So, okay, then answer me this. Are you allowed right now to go see anybody during COVID-19?
I'm allowed to see our first responders. We go to the healthcare workers and we go to our law enforcement. Those are pretty much it. I'm not able to go to the nursing homes. Obviously, they have been shut down. I go to Kroger sometime and just walk through as a chaplain and see if anybody I can pray with or anybody I can help. I go to eating places that are opened up that are taking, takeout orders that are essential businesses. And so I'll go to places like that. Molly and I try to spend still about 3 to 4 hours out each day. I'll go early in the morning and then I go late in the afternoon. And what I do is I have my chaplain's thing with me and I just kind of do a patrol, just like police do.
Yeah, right.
And I know in your book that you talked about in your forward that probably some of the best conversations you had was the coffee with your chaplain, that you enjoyed sitting down with your chaplain all the time. And I think chaplains more and more, especially in law enforcement, are becoming very, very critical units. They're not commissioned. They don't carry guns, but they are vital to law enforcement now. They really are, and you can probably say that from a law enforcement lady that, hey, I'd love to have a chaplain around, and everything like that.
Yes.
So one time I got to tell you a story. One time I got stopped years ago. This is before Canines For Christ. An officer stopped me and he saw my chaplain's thing and he said, "Slow it down. I ain't giving God a ticket." So that was kind of funny. We had a good time. It was great, and probably as law enforcement, you have told people to slow down more than you've given them tickets. So it's just,
I love giving warnings. I just I hated giving tickets. I didn't like.
Oh boy, I know what you mean and stuff like that. But anyway, but I'm encouraging all our volunteers across the country, do what the health experts tell you to do. Obey law enforcement, obey healthcare, obey your first responders. They're not trying to take anything away from you. They're trying to keep you alive. So if I can tell your audience anything, obey these people that know what they're talking about. Obey.
Amen. Yeah. Amen. Thank you, Chaplain. You're amazing. Thank you so much for being on. Tell your wife hello.
I will.
Tell your puppies, both of them, hello.
And after COVID-19, maybe we can come back and visit this again and everything.
Yes, like that would be wonderful.
That'd be great.
Chaplain Ron, and for Canines For Christ. Now, say your website one more time.
www.k9forchrist.org. www.k9forchrist.org.
And that's FOR, not the number 4.
No.
FOR.
FOR, yeah. K9forchrist.org.
Wonderful.
Amen.
You go out and have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.
All right.